Are you ready to get canceled in white people territory? Because we might actually get canceled.
Yeah, why not?
We might get canceled on both sides of the planet. I've been wanting to make this food for a long time, but I haven't because I don't want to have the conversation that usually follows, which is, what are your thoughts about Xinjiang and the Uyghur people? Well, first of all, it's Xinjiang, and also it's the Uyghur. I think I'm pronouncing that right, the Uyghur, right? Uyghur. They say Uyghur because they can't pronounce those letters.
Okay.
Anyways, we're gonna make a classic called balda. It's the Han word for this street side snack. It's a little rectangle samosa filled with usually beef and lamb fat and piaz, or onions, tiazi. Seasoned with salt water, not salt, cumin, and then traditionally baked in a tandoor. It can also be baked at home in a home oven with a little bit of egg wash. It's gonna be tasty both ways. You don't need to own a tandoor to be authentic. So let's get started. Over here I have an assortment of Chinese beef, roughly chopped. You can tell it's Chinese because it's deep ruby red. This cow has been allowed to live for a long time. Next to it I have yang wei you, which is fat off of the tail of the lamb, also roughly diced, and then the yangcong or onions or piaz, finely diced. And that is going to go into a large container, about 3 times larger than you need it to be. And then you put fuck tons of salt water in there. The concentration of salt water in your brine should be around 5% because you're using this to hydrate, stretch, as well as season your meat and onion mixture.
刚看你有放好几种不同部位的牛肉，为什么？
They were on sale.
啊？
Yeah, as long as it's roughly lean and roughly flavorful, you're good. In China, we sell tenderloin, sirloin, ribeye, shoulder, flank, whatever, usually at the same price. We don't distinguish our pricing on cow by the actual part of the cow. We just tell you what part it is so you can figure out what you want to do for your dish. Make sense? So I just buy whatever's on sale. It's all going to taste good anyways. And then you just lift and slap until all the water is absorbed into the meat. And then in goes fuck tons of cumin. You can grind this down if you so wish. I like whole cumin seeds. That's it. That's all the seasoning you need. You're done. The dough is very simple. It's a kilo of high protein or bread or strong flour, depending on where you're from, or T65 if you're French, at 50% hydration. And out of that 50% hydration, 3 of those are eggs, 50 to 60 gram of neutral oil. Feel free to use not neutral oil if you are politically inclined. Beat the crap out of it for about 10 minutes at the slowest speed your mixer can manage, or if you want to be a big manly man, use your hands. Once you've beat the crap out of it for 10 minutes, you end up with a shaggy mess like this. This is a pretty forgiving dough, actually. And we're gonna use it and divide it into 30 to 35 gram balls, larger if you're greedy, smaller if you're fucking poor. And then we're gonna show you how to wrap these up. This is, without a doubt, even easier than the xiaomai siumai that we made all those episodes ago. This is by far the easiest filled dough food I can think of to fill. All right, I can tell by the twisty look on your face that you want to ask me a bunch of questions.
这个东西的调味其实很简单，是不是因为新疆的东西的原料很好？
It's not that their ingredients are good, it's just they don't have much else to work with. That's why everything has the same 3 ingredients in it. Onions, carrots, and meat. That area of the world is considered Central Asia. It's not what you would call an agriculturally pleasant place a lot of the time. No one would ever look at you and be like, damn, it's fucking abundant with growth.
OK， 这个东西的英文到底是什么？
Samosa. Or actually, it's like an Uyghur Hotpocket. A Hotpocket is like, it's like a McDonald's pie-shaped little pastry filled with like pizza fillings. It's very industrial and poor Americans eat it. This is shaped like a Hot Pocket, pretty much. It's an Uyghur Hot Pocket. That's how you would say it in English. But if you said it in Uyghur, it would be G-O-X space G-A-R-D-A, or it might be a samsa. But samsa is either Arabic or Persian. This thing was created so long ago. So essentially, by way of travel throughout the Middle East and Central Asia, from the Indians to the Turks to the Arabs to the Sassanids, every single version of cafe latte middle of the world had their version of the samosa or samsa. So yeah, all things considered, this is the most confusing Chinese food to ever exist.
是它是中国食物，但是它其实不是很像。
Well, a lot of Chinese food isn't Chinese food. It's just that a lot of Chinese food that isn't Chinese food doesn't get talked about. I'm a northerner. I grew up eating smoked chicken, smoked sausages, sourdough bread, and rye toast. Food of either the Russians or the Jews or the Poles. But we don't talk about them because they never bullied us. Well, they did, but we like to pretend like they didn't.
OK，
Right? And that was a long, long time ago. This is only sensitive because it's still happening, kind of.
这个发言很危险哦。
Let's stop beating around the bush. You're worried that some white person or some fucking Taiwanese person or Hong Kong person or one generation removed Chinese person is going to say, what do you mean you don't care about what's happening in Xinjiang, you fucking racists? Well, if that's the case, you have to make a decision. Is it called Xinjiang? If yes, then we are racist. But if you don't want to call it Xinjiang, then we aren't racist. First of all, it's called Xinjiang not because of the Han Chinese. It's called Xinjiang because of us, the Manchurians. From the late 1800s in 1884, we decided to go there and quell a rebellion.
Oh.
The Manchurians went and consolidated to Xinjiang not for the purposes of color and race, but at the same time, roughly the same time, in the mid-19th century, the great President James Polk was manifesting the fuck out of some destiny. Do you know what manifest destiny is? It means that if you are born white, it is your God-given right to own North America. And nobody seems to be throwing up a bitchy fuss about eating burgers in the great land of the free. You gotta think about, are they really Chinese? Well, let's put it this way. Depends on how much of a sore loser you are. If by nature of the fact that they don't want to be Chinese makes them not Chinese, then fucking California should be Chinese, then Texas shouldn't be Chinese, right? This is a complicated issue. And once again, I have to say, I'm not taking a racial side. I'm just saying that this isn't a special problem. It's not exclusive to the mainland. Anyways, before we continue bullshitting, put some fucking meat in your wrapper. And I'm serious when I say that even you could do this. Left, right,
That's
front.
discrimination.
Is it not the truth?
哦，很简单。
Uh-huh. That's it. We're done.
哇，你给的好大方啊！
Yeah, because I'm making it for myself and I'm not trying to run a business off of this. I have touched it with the influence of my culture, which is northern mainland Chinese. So does that make it Chinese food or does it make it not Chinese food? That's up to the world and God to decide. I'm just here to cook. When I told my friends that we might be doing this episode, they asked me if I was afraid. But the funny thing is, only my Western friends asked me if I was afraid to bring this up. Not my Chinese ones.
我不懂啊，为什么会问这种问题？
Because they think that we will be silenced for having an opinion, which is not true. There are circumstances where we will be, but it's not for having an opinion. That's America. So we have 5 of these here, and now we're gonna bake them. We're gonna try our best to mimic a tandoor oven. Now, how they usually do this traditionally is they grab one of the copals and then smear the bottom with salt water and slap it onto a hot tray. A little bit of salt water, and then you rub. And you throw it in there.
为什么要加盐水
In a tandoor, when you sprinkle salty water into it, it creates a beautiful amount of steam inside the tandoor when they put the lid on, so they can expand. And then later, when the water evaporates, the salt actually crystallizes onto the top and bottom. 然后呢, then the big shuzhu will take the long ladle and then scrape it off of the tandoor. 接一个接叫挖金子。
这种炉子跟我们烤大饼那种是类似的吗？
对啊，就贴上去嘛，就是
烤鸭
老几烧的炉子。
哦，我懂了。
一模一样啊。
哦，懂了。
There you go.
懂了，觉得贴大饼那个懂了。
对啊。God, I'm so cultured.
刚刚有说到皮牙子，
下次
我刚说新疆话，你说不是新疆话，所以是到底是什么？
That's like saying, is the words 楼叫做 Chinese? Yes,
Okay.
it's Chinese, but it's more correct to say that it's Shanghainese, right? It's a Turkic word, it means onion.
土耳其语。
Turkic is not Turkish. I'm trying my best to make this. Please correct me in the comments when I'm wrong. Please do. I'd love to learn more if I fuck this up. Turkish would be like what's spoken now in Turkey, right? But a Turkic language is of the family that Turkic belongs to. In the same way that there are a lot of Mongolic languages. For example, the Latin languages, a family of languages. Turkic language, family of languages. Uyghur is one of the languages in the Turkic family.
这个语系下面的某一种语言。懂了。北美或者欧洲有新疆菜吗？
Yes, there are restaurants that make Uyghur food. But generally speaking, nobody in the West would call it Xinjiang food. They call it Uyghur food. Because they don't want to have that conversation any more than I don't want to have that conversation.
Okay.
Any other sensitive questions?
No. 还不够吗？
I mean, I don't think so. I think we're having a decent conversation. It's all about at what point in history you want to start arguing with people. Less than 200 years ago, California wasn't America. Hot oven. See these like uneven marks? That's the bubbles inside crispening. Yeah, because this is empty on the inside. So the big bubbles, they color faster. There you go. Crispy, cute, hot as hell. That's exactly what you're looking for. Ready? It's all meat, all the time. 来，
谢谢。
这个 buddy， 你要几个来着？一个两个？一个够了吗？
How's that score?
I'm gonna show my mom.
你的还会有的，放心。Damn. The salt water is part of the entire experience.
上海叫汤包，
可以这么叫广东人。
烤汤包。
烤汤包，对。
花小龙女的。
花小龙女的。
And the best part is because you're in control of it, you can decide on the doneness you want. The ones that you get usually in stores are over-seasoned, underfilled, and overcooked. And they're not juicy anymore. This to me is the perfect in-between. Bob, 要几个烤包子？咱们挑小一点的吧。I don't like them that much. That entire table of people, I only like one of them. All right, shall we wrap up?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me for this extremely easy, definitely worth the time Chinese street snack. If I've offended anybody, actually I don't really care. You can go find somewhere else to watch your content. But if there's something you want to educate me on or correct me on or teach me about, please leave me a comment. I do want to learn more. I hope I haven't said anything too incorrect. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week. Take care. Send that to table D.
哎，
你们要烤包子吗？
刚出炉的咬的时候要小心哈。
我知道可以，你就几个嘛，你就点个头。
看起来就像跟猪水肉一样。
它就是猪水肉啊，它是最传统、最经典的猪水肉。
什么意思？
一般肉里面注水。
哦。
所以注水肉就没有说是一个贬义词。
No， 它只是个处理肉的方式啊。See, look, at least he's asking me normal human being questions. None of this political bullshit that's gonna get me in trouble.
你去过新疆吗
Yeah, of course.
？Do you like it?
Sure I do. I'm so proud of these. So proud of these little guys.